Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today is April 24th, 8:15. Today we'll be going over our morning watch list and preparing for the market overall and our plan for today and what we will be watching. So let's get started. Let's see how the market looks. This week we do have a lot of tech companies earnings, so let's definitely keep on watch. The overall idea of the trend and the range that we may be in. So I'm going to start off with NASDAQ. We're going to add this to our list and watching what it may do. NASDAQ has been moving very well in this range, as you guys can see. This being the high, and of course down here being the low. Let's find some levels. Let's see what NASDAQ can be doing today. So far we look like we're on a short-term downtrend, just based off the high and the low. So we're going to see how we look here. Are we going to squeeze? Are we going to break the top? Are we going to continue up? Or are we going to bounce back at this low as we approach? So we're going to find different levels here on NASDAQ, try to figure out what the market may do. We're going to mark down this 13,230 level resistance. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4 tests, a lot of chop around there. Could be a great spot to watch out for today as a reject or as even a price target if we end up getting up there. We're going to mark down right here this 12,956 as a support. We have 1, 2 bounces, and of course some rejects over here to watch out for, as well as some in the past. So we'll keep that on watch as well. So now we identified our high and our low and our range. We got our little pattern here. Now the idea will be, what is our profit opportunity? If we bounce from down here, we're going to try to goal of open. We're going to try to get a goal of open. That's going to be 1%. Overall 2% range. Same thing goes for reject. Where will we target? If we were to reject, we'd probably go for the high, which would be about 0.19, 25 points. That's good opportunities there for profit. Same thing goes with breakouts. We'll probably have a goal of pretty tight. If we do breakout, it'd either be between this 13,126 to this 13,200 area. Let's double check. Let's see that we don't have any extra supports. Could sneak up on us. So far none that I see. So I'm gonna call it right there. I don't want to add extra charts. We're gonna reset this later on today and redo the chart later in the day. If there is anything, we're gonna mark down maybe this mid-range spot here, right down there. Looks like a bounce spot. We may see some buyers at. This could be a good spot for, of course, Monday. Looks like pre-market lows. We also got a few bounce spots in the past, Thursday, and of course before that. I'm gonna also mark the mid-high right around here. We do have a lot of rejects. This could be an early reject spot that we can watch out for. Let's see how we look back here. It matches perfectly, works out very well. So as you guys can see, we first chart in the beginning, we chart our range that we see, and then we scroll back to the past to look at if it lines up with anything back there. And for us it does, so that means our chart looks clean, it works out, and so we're going to be looking into it today. All right, let's move on to ES. ES already looking like it's breaking out of our little trend here. Bullish side, broke down to the bottom side first, kind of starting to squeeze out. Let's see how we do. I'm going to remove this bottom as well as the top, and we're going to see how ES works out. We got the same idea for NASDAQ. Now we kind of have to try and figure out how ES or SPY in general may play out for us. All right, let's see. We got our 3-wick bounce at this price. Sort of lines up here. Let's see. 3-wick bounce right around there. See if it matches with anything back here. That resistance could be it. Just showing that the potential bounce spot next may be around this 4130. Doesn't look bad. We're going to see, of course, as you guys know, last week 4173 reject has been key. I'm expecting us to follow that range again this week. Same thing goes for if we break above it. I'm also going to mark a small level here. This high, we're going to be looking for a spot here for rejects. Small intraday spot that we can look into. Other than that, I think our chart patterns already are pretty solid. The levels that we have been working out, so no need to add anything extra to it. And so we'll just work with what we got here. I'm going to add that low. Looks like a great spot to have a support at for future bounces. Looks like we have our little trend is just bullish overall, which is good. That's what the support we just drew identifies. So the next time we do end up testing it and breaking, we know to grab some puts below the lower low, and then our goal would probably be this 4109. So yeah, not a bad spot to mark down for a support. And so far, intra-week trend intraday trend would be bearish, about to break out bullish. Intra-week trend, we got our bullish idea where we're about to break down bearish. So let's see how we do this week. 4173 is what I'm watching for rejects today. If we get to that 4188, we'll see for possible reject. Not a strong level, but something to watch out for definitely. And of course, this is where we start getting to supplies. 4204 to 4215, big supply for me. I will be watching for puts there. Other than that, that's it for ES. Let's move on to SPX and see what we can find there. All right. Now here we got our ES. We have a lot of gaps to watch out for. First off, noting this gap down here, 4090. To watch out for if we start falling below this 4113. 4113 last week was a key bounce spot, as you guys can see. We marked it down and we had it ready. So we're going to be watching same idea this week. See if there's still some strong buyers. This is last week's low, so it's going to be a key level added onto that already. Other than that, we do have a gap up here, 4153 to watch out for if we get up there. Of course, again, our highs at 4157, so we have an idea of where our high spot or reject spot may be. Overall, we still haven't filled this supply. 4182 is something that I'm waiting on personally for some puts. Getting above that, it's going to seem very unlikely, but we do have a gap here at 4225, which I should mark down. This blue one should have that marked down. There it is. And then anything else above that is just going to start stepping into monthly highs, weekly highs, and then of course some other key levels. Let's look for some possible spots that we can scout between. This 4113 is just going to be key. 4136 is a big spot for profit takers. Although it's not going to be the strongest, it is going to be something worth watching. Let's go to 15-minute. No supports that I see, any sort of wedge support, any sort of resistance, wedge resistance that I see. I'm just going to take it safe today, scout between gaps. We're going to mark down this gap here, just to have it on watch for today. See how we do there. And then of course I do want to have the gap below to watch out for as well. Move that down here. And these two gaps are going to be the key gaps for the day. We're going to watch to see how we move, how we have our price action between it, and we'll trade smart. Um, Other than that, we're just gonna leave it like this. There's really not much else to add. We have our key levels. We have the idea of where the stock has a range of, and we'll just scalp between it. 4141, we haven't really seen anything crazy. Our best that we've seen in this level has been this 4141 bounce or a reject here on April 14th, and then our bounce here following on Tuesday, April 18th. So if we do end up rejecting that today, which is likely that we touch it, let's see to try and grab me some puts. The highest probable spot for reject is going to be this gap fill to this 4157 touch. It's I don't think we're gonna have enough liquidity, or sorry, enough volume to push us higher than that. So let's definitely see. We did break a low, as you guys can see on our chart that we had earlier. We broke a low that could have been a liquidity grab, and now we're pumping. So we'll see how we do today, and we'll try to trade around that. Let's move on to individuals. Let's see how the market looks overall. If you guys are subscribed to the newsletter, it's free. Link is in the description. We have our setup for Apple that looks pretty solid. We're going to look at 50% retracement as a first safe spot to sell. Then we're going to go to 78% retracement, and then 100% retracement, and so on. But overall, this is a rising wedge pattern. We're looking for support break. Support is clean. Overall, the trend is very identifiable. Bullish. Rising wedge is a bullish or bearish trend reversal pattern, so it's going from bullish to bearish. And so we're going to watch to see us break support this week, where I would personally grab puts and scalp between this areas, try to grab some profits at the retracement spot. Biggest area I see for reject, so if you go into the 1 day spot, you'll see why we have that resistance reject from last week. It is a really long trend, and so personally I don't see Apple getting above it. It's just unlikely at the moment with the amount of volume that we have, especially with us being at earnings week. It's going to be a little tough to see a break above it. So if we do end up touching it, 166 again to 168 again, I personally want to grab some puts up there too. But support break is going to be the most safest position for puts, so we'll see how we do there, and let's move on. We got our Costco. As you guys know, we're swinging Costco puts off reject of retracement as well as resistance, and so I want to see us try to get back towards this supply turn demand, and see how we do. Costco, they did have bullish news recently. They did increase their dividends amount about 19% or so. Since then, they've pumped, and now we're starting to see some of that momentum loss. Still a little bit of buyers holding above, but as we go into this week, I do want to see some decrease in the consumer sector specifically, as they had a lot of volume circulate their prices, including Costco. As you guys can see, pretty bullish since March. And with that said, consumer sector is something I personally want to see start to lose money and start trading it between other sectors. We are at the top here, seeing supply rejection real soon is what we're looking for. Same thing goes for Costco. We're seeing this high. We're trying to find a level here which we grab their puts off of for us to start rejecting and heading down at least to that 499 spot to 500 spot, which is my personal stock price goal for our short position. Anything else other than that, as you guys can see, we're starting to approach this wedge too, giving us another sort of idea of our range. If we go higher, it's going to be very tight. So sellers may try to sell a little early. We'll see how we do. But our stock position is something that we're just going to stay patient with, and let's move on from there. We got our Nvidia, not a lot of setups here. We're starting to see that level touch again. I'm gonna mark this really quick. 268. Get rid of this. and we're going to right here. We're going to try and rechart this. We're going to look for any stronger levels, anything that fits better. I can see a supply, I can see a demand, so we can try and trade between that. Got our supply up here, and then of course our demand is going to be down here. Right here. And then there we go. Perfect. So we have an idea of our supply and demand. We have an idea of a resistance levels we can watch. We have our high of Friday, I believe. That looks like a solid spot for intraday reject and or intraday scalping. So we're gonna mark down that as well. Just this spot right here, high a day. Other than that, we've seen a lot of wonky price action since I think it was March 21st, where now we're sort of in a range. If you guys know this pattern, this could be considered a box pattern, where we either break out higher or break out lower. Overall, just range trading between this spot here. And so let's see how we do. Let's see how we react. And then we'll move on from there. All right. I'm gonna leave this here. I'm just gonna see if we get down here, we'll get calls. If we get up here, we buy puts, or just stick patient, see how the price does. Let's move on. Costco, after their earnings, they fell pretty heavily. This was on our last week's watch for some puts. Ended up working out pretty well. Maybe even before earnings. Or now we're trying to see how we do here. So far, I personally won't be touching it, although them breaking a pivotal spot, which is this 193.95, we'll see if they hold it. It's supposed to be a very strong spot for a bounce, or if they fail it, build a bear flag, chop around it, and then they go lower. We'll see how they do. They do have, I believe, an earnings gap here as well. A previous earning gap right around there, that they may try to fill. But overall, this Tesla isn't something I'm personally going to be trading for a while, so I'm going to move on from that. Meta earnings this week. I'm probably not going to touch it. Not a lot I see here anyways, so we're just going to leave that one for another time. Amazon, same thing. Earnings, they've been pretty bullish. They did break out their 1 week falling wedge pattern, so they may have some room for continuation. Hence why I'm not really touching it too much. Let me try to find it. I believe it's right here. There we go. We have a bit of a falling wedge spot here, where now we're starting to move up, break it, continue up. So I'm personally not going to be touching it for a while as well, and we'll move on from there. AMD, after rejecting our 102 supply, it's just been falling and falling. Wish I grabbed some puts up there, but just didn't. Now we're starting to see, just overall, now we went from bullish to bearish. The trend has been sort of like that for a while now. We may be having a rising or falling wedge here to watch out for. We're squeezing, that much is obvious. So we're starting to trade from. Let me see if I can show you guys. We're starting to trade from down to now down, but this is sideways. So that is now starting to look like a squeeze, and this can either squeeze up or squeeze down. The likelihood is squeezing up, just based off of this pattern. It is a bullish pattern overall. It's a trend reversal, but to the bullish side. With that being said, if we do break resistance, we'll try and find some scalp areas. One being this 92 spot right here. Could be a great spot to try and scalp off, and that's about it. We do have some buying opportunity down here from the past. Investors may try to take advantage of that, and yeah, let's see how we do. AMD doesn't look bad, so we'll keep it on watch. Alright, after this, we're just going to skim through the rest of the stocks that we have on our sometimes list, and we'll see. Nothing there. HD support looks pretty solid. 304.51 should be a solid support area from the past that we can use as a resistance, so let's look for that. But this support is pretty nice. 311, as you guys know, the second we get up there, I plan on looking for shorts. Big spot reject puts area for me, so we'll see how we do. Microsoft, they have earnings as well. Looks like on Friday we bounced off of this demand. I personally wanted to see a low bounce rather than a high bounce, but we'll see how we go. Support has been broken, so trend idea is currently going to be bearish till we hit around this 280, and then I want to see a bounce. Then we're going to go on to Boeing. Boeing very bearish on this 215. Still, we're seeing that range again, like we have been for all the other stocks on Boeing, where this low 197 is the low, and this high 215 is the high. So we're gonna trade between it, look for some puts up there, and calls down here. Disney, not a lot. I personally won't be trading Disney. Google as well. Google has earnings, so I probably won't be trading it or looking at it. Walmart, again, we talk about that resistance it had, and ever since it broke out, we're starting to hit the highs. It's just been bullish. So I say we can continue going all the way up to maybe max 154. But personally, I'm not going to be trading it. And PayPal, very range based at the moment. We're starting to see it touch our lows, so maybe we may see some buyers. But right now I'm not going to trade it. And then SQ, not liking that. Roku also has earnings, not going to touch it. CVX, of course, this is oil. Oil has been bouncing around this supply turn, looks to be demand. They do have earnings, so again, not touching oil. And then yeah, we're going on to crowd. AMAT has been holding our levels to a T lately. As you guys can see, bouncing off support twice, bouncing off reject, breaking off support, supply. Everything about AMAT has been perfect relating to our levels. So we're going to see how AMAT does once we start getting up to the highs. And then JP Morgan, bull flag, to me is what I saw, but JP Morgan banks overall do look good. I just personally won't be touching it. And that's about it. Then we go on to SC, and then we're done. So I hope you guys have a great trading day. If you need to, we have about 1 hour till the market opens. Definitely review this live. If you missed anything in the beginning, we talked about futures and our idea for today. So hope you guys have a great trading day. Trade smart, trade safe. And if you have any questions, let me know. Peace out.